Will all board members please take their seats? We get a head count here. Okay. Thank you. It is 6:30, Thursday, January 23rd, and this is our county board meeting, and I'd like to call it to order, and I'd like a roll call, please.
Schrader?
Here.
Schwartz?
Here.
Alex?
He's here. He's coming in.
Bergson? Carter? Cowart? Esri?
Here.
Harper?
Here.
Harkey? James? Jay? Kibler? Langenheim? Maxwell?
Here.
McGuire? Michaels? Mitchell? Petrie? Quisenberry? Richards? Rosales? Kurtz?
Here. Quorum. Thank you. First is our prayer. Please take a moment. Thank you. We gather to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. Amen. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Bergson has entered. Thank you. Okay, please read the notice of the meeting.
Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the County Board, Champaign County, Illinois, will convene on January 23rd, 2014 at 6:30 p.m. in the Lyle Shields Meeting Room, Brookings Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street, Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of allowing and ordering payments of claims against the county, receiving and acting upon reports of committees and such other matters as may be brought before said meeting, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Thank you. Motion to approve the notice. So move, Mr. Jeff. Second, Stan. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I make a motion to approve the agenda and addenda, please. So move, Stan. Second? Second, Lorraine. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes.
Correction.
Yes, go right ahead. Thank you. Discussion.
A correction to the agenda, county, consent agenda item B2. On the hard copies that you have, the resolution number is in error. It should be resolution number 8765. It's been corrected on the online version.
Thank you. Any other discussion or changes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. As you can note, the date time of the next regular standing committees, Committee of the Whole and County Board. We now move to the consent agenda. I'd like a motion to approve, please. So moved by Aaron. Do I have a second? Second by Astrid. I need a roll call vote, please. Or first, any comments, discussions on the consent agenda? Okay, roll call, please.
Schrader?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yeah.
Alex?
Yes.
Bergson? Cowart? Esri?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Harkey?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay? Kibler?
Yes.
Langenheim? Maxwell?
Yes.
McGuire?
Yes.
Michaels?
Yes.
Mitchell? Petrie?
Yes.
Richards? Kurtz?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Public participation is next. Did I see some lights go We have just one right now, Mr. Joseph Lynch. Please, would you take a seat here at the desk, sir, and turn on the microphone. It's the button in the center of the console. You have 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to.
Pull that over to you, sir. Just pull that microphone over towards you. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Again, can everybody hear me? My name is Joseph Lynch. I live at the New Century Estates Trailer Park in West Champaign with my wife. I'm 76, she's 75. We lived there for 7 or 8 years, and with everything working great until about the middle of last year in July, when a situation really turned into a nightmare. Our neighbor's boy, a teenage boy, got a hot rod car and had no muffler on it. Just couldn't reason with these people at all. But when I say it's a nightmare, I don't refer to the people. I refer more to what happened when we tried to get attention from the sheriff department. A sheriff deputy came out. This was all in the middle of the night, pitch black. Sheriff deputy came out, and the first thing he did was to threaten to arrest me for complaining about this noise. To this day, I don't know why. I don't understand it. Maybe there's some other law or something that applies, but that's how this whole thing started, and this has been going on for 6 months, and the noise is still going on. I tried to find out what the process was. You know, these people seemed to be treating me like I was doing something wrong, so I tried to find out what was wrong, and they wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't tell me what the procedure was for something like this. Well, as it turned out, one of the deputies that I talked to had never issued any kind of a citation for mufflers or any kind of noise. And as a matter of fact, he said that his experience in this was from his own owning a car with a loud muffler. And he used that as an example of how he judges whether a muffler is too loud or not. And there was no muffler on this car, period. There was no exhaust system, no pipes, no anything on this car. And I had, this was from the Champaign Police Department, Officer Gary Liebeck, who got under the car and looked at the muffler system and determined that there was no muffler system on it. I couldn't, at that time, he was doing something else. I couldn't get his help in furthering this. But what I did find out here, as far as the muffler, the laws, this isn't right out of the law books or anything, but it is a book that's published by the Secretary of State. Every driver has to know these laws. There's a 2-line explanation for mufflers in here. Basically, it says that a muffler must be included on any car. And on the further, if anybody tries to change the muffler in any way, it says bypasses and changes to the system to increase noise are illegal, period. You know, what's hard to understand about that? I couldn't get the county sheriff to even consider those things. What the main problems that they had, they say that they cannot, they can not go on private property to enforce this. And again, I didn't ask for private property. I didn't, and I didn't expect it. The driver of this car used it to go across Champaign the city and the Champaign City and Urbana, back and forth, twice a day, every day, for 6 months. And when I bring that up, they say, well, they don't have the time or the resources to do anything, or to try to enforce that.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Sir, we have a 5-minute rule, but
Okay.
we obviously have the gist of your concerns. So I'm going to have to ask you to close the microphone and step back.
Okay, could I summarize one last point? It's a
Go right ahead.
suggestion.
Go right ahead. Please do.
I believe that we're not talking about a life or death situation here on this subject. As a matter of fact, I believe that the whole thing could be handled in the mail, just like a parking ticket. And I would like to volunteer if anybody is interested, if I can get any help on this. I would volunteer to help set this up so it doesn't require any other sheriff resources or anything else.
Thank you,
So
Mr. Lynch. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much, sir. I only gave him... I would do that for anyone. Okay, is there anyone else who has any other public participation? Anyone wish to speak? All right. I'm going to close public participation for this evening. Thank you. All right, let's move forward. Communications. Do we have any communications from the board? All right, I have a couple of items that I wanted to go over with you. First, on your desk, as you'll see, a letter from Senator Durbin, Senator Kirk, to FEMA concerning the funding formulas that hurt downstate Illinois communities like Gifford and Washington, that have been the conversation recently when FEMA rejected our request for funding due to the tornadoes in Gifford and in southern Illinois. I heard today that legislation that Mr. Kirk and Senator Kirk and Senator Durbin are putting in the Senate are now going to be matched by congressional on the representative side in the House to ask FEMA, in fact, to order FEMA through legislation to change their criteria so that downstate populous states are not disparaged by the fact that Chicago or any large city skews the formula for a state for certain funding. So they're working on that right now. Also, I have some really good news, and what actually bipartisanship can really do once in a while, when people get together and both sides of the aisle actually talk and produce something that is positive. I have an email here from Laurie Morrison Frick from the Executive Director, Illinois Head Start Association. I'm elated to state that the budget that was approved by the bipartisan House and Senate Appropriations Committee, chaired by Senator Barbara McCloskey, Democrat of Maryland, the budget includes an $8.1 billion base for Head Start, which includes restoration of all cuts made to Head Start in the sequestration of last year. Roughly an additional $100 million in COLA, based on the total budget that calculates approximately 1.16 COLA. And I can only say that I'm elated to see that we finally were able to speak to each other, talk to each other, and pass a budget that now restores the entire sequestration dollars to Head Start and Early Head Start. Diane?
If I can add to that on Head Start, I think several people read in the paper that our director, Kathleen Liflick, was recognized as the state
Yes, thank you.
choice, and
I was
also
about to state
is
that.
and it also is being considered for a national recognition for her work as the director of the Head Start here in Champaign County.
And all part of the Regional Planning Commission, I just want to say. And I want to thank Diane. Diane has been on the policy committee for the Regional Head Start for years now. She's getting off, but I wanted to thank her personally for all the work that she's done with our Head Start families. Thank you so much, Diane. I really appreciate it. Mike?
I just want to make sure that we're clear when we talk about Gifford being denied, that that's that is the local governments
Yes.
of Champaign County. We have had some, at some of the sites around the state, people getting confused over this. If anybody's watching on TV, the News Gazette wants to remind people, individual aid is still going on. Residents who have damage should apply. It doesn't matter that Gifford was denied for aid to the village. FEMA has given out $2.3 million in direct grants and $14 million in loans. And like I said, that period is still open until February 3rd. I want to encourage Champaign County residents who even think they might be eligible to go to disasterassistance.gov and to get that.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for your help on this situation, which has been very, very serious. And certainly we hope that those people living in Gifford and those 15 counties that have been affected by the tornadoes get their fair share and deserve our cooperation and our help. They're great people down in Gifford. I had a long talk with last night with Senator Frerichs concerning this, and the state is also putting through legislation for commercial tax abatement for small businesses that have not been covered by the tornado. It's being in the House sponsored by Representative Hayes, and when it moves from the House, Senator Frerichs will take it up on the Senate side. I have one other announcement yesterday. In response to our letters to the governor and Ann Schneider, a delegation from the state of Illinois, IDOT, was sent from Springfield to our highway department yesterday to give us a PowerPoint presentation with a number of other legislators in attendance concerning the disparity of highway distribution funds that have taken place in our district. We spent 2 hours talking a very complicated set of PowerPoint presentations, which are quite complex when you look at the formula that they decide to use. And at the end of the day, we still can't figure out why we have such a discrepancy between our highway funding and the other districts. We're working on that now. We have their numbers. They gave us a booklet. We're sitting down to try and decipher that formula so that on Tuesday we'll have some response to them. Also, the discussion turned to the I-57, I-74 interchange, which I now hear is structurally about $130 million restructuring of that intersection. I-57, I-74 is one of the most dangerous intersections in the state of Illinois, as we know. In the past, there have been over 335 accidents, which was a number that I heard about 4 months ago. That could be changed, the number of fatalities. It's starting to become more of a priority. We now know that the engineering phase 1, is underway, and that by the end of this year, we'll have phase 1 completed and hopefully move into phase 2 quickly, which is the design phase. We'll be having some open house hearings shortly in February at the Highway Department, looking at the different options to replace the cloverleaf type of intersection with other options. So things are moving forward, and I'm looking forward to, hopefully before they bury me, the change of I-57, 74 into a safer interchange. Is there any other communications? Thank you. Let's move on. I would like the approval of minutes for December 19th, 2013, please. Motion. Max. Second? I have Ralph. Thank you. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let's go to standing committees. Ralph with Environment and Land Use, please. Chris?
I move approval of ordinance number 940, amending the rural home occupation requirements in the zoning ordinance in case 732-AT-12. This case was deferred from the December and November 9, 2013 county board meetings. The amendment recommended by ZBA is substantially the same as that authorized by the committee, but many relatively minor, though still important changes have been made to improve the amendment and make it less restrictive. The ZBA also received updated rural home occupation RHO handouts with 4 completely new example RHO site plans and updated RHO application forms intending to improve the communication of the requirements for rural home occupation to prospective applicants. Hensley Township has filed an official protest on this text amendment, and a majority, 17 affirmative votes, will be required to defeat the township protest. The basis for the protest is that Hensley Township believes the proposed text amendment, quote, will adversely affect LRMP Goal Number 3 entitled Prosperity by limiting economic growth and development within the county. Regarding the concepts of Hensley Township, the ZBA found that the proposed text amendment will not impede the achievement of LRMP Goal Number 3. The proposed text amendment makes the existing zoning ordinance requirements less restrictive, and not approving the amendment will retain the more restrictive requirements. This, of course, will require a roll call vote.
Ralph, you want to take that vote? We have 19 members here tonight.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear somebody to amend to defer again.
For a second?
Point of order, have we actually seconded it? Yeah, there was no second.
What's that?
There was no second to the main motion.
Oh, okay. Second the main motion, sorry. John, for the second on the main motion. Discussion.
Yes,
Stan. Chris.
I'm sorry, I'd just like to, I intend to support this, and if anyone does not intend to support this, I would be curious to know why.
Okay.
I can't speak to it, obviously. So is there anyone else who wants to?
Was that a question addressed to me?
No, sir, it was just a comment that I intend to support this, and I was curious to hear other board members weigh in as to whether they
Okay,
intended to
yes.
support it or oppose it.
John?
I would move to defer. I do not support this at this particular time, and I know it's been deferred a couple of times. This isn't an earth-shaking matter. It isn't going to make a lot of difference if we give it a little more time. I've received several phone calls of some concerned people. In all honesty, a lot of them was from Hensley Township, so not a lot of them, 2 of them were. So I would move to defer.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Astrid. Discussion. John, may I ask that you share those comments with John Hall and with the chair of ELOC after the meeting? Refer this? Oh, okay. Thank you for the transparency. I appreciate that.
If you feel like it, I'll listen to you.
All right. All in favor of deferral? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We defer to the next county board meeting. All right, let's move on. We'll get this thing passed sooner or later here. All right, let's move to finance. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance moves adoption of resolution number 8755, payment of claims authorization.
Whoa, can I have a second? Second, Jeff. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chris?
Finance moves adoption of resolution number 8756, purchases not following the purchasing policy.
Second by Stan. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Chris?
Thank you. The Finance Committee moves adoption of resolution number 8757, authorizing budget amendment 14-00005 for $150,996, re-encumbered for the tandem truck for the Highway Department.
Second, Diane. All right, this is a roll call, 15 vote to pass. Is there any discussion on this before we take the roll call? Roll call, please.
Schrader?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Bergson?
Yes.
Cowart?
Yes.
Esri?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Harkey?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Kibler?
Yes.
Langenheim?
Yep.
Maxwell?
Yes.
McGuire?
Yes.
Michaels?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Petrie?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
Kurtz?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you.
And finally, Mr. Chairman, I move adoption of resolution number 8758, authorizing budget amendment 13-00065, increased appropriations of $30,510 from the fund balance for closeout of the 2013 administrative fees, closeout of 2013 HRA claims, and I would ask to speak to that if it receives a second. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This did not make the committee of the whole timeline, so it's coming directly to the full board. This is essentially the final payments, as I understand it, for claims out of the health reimbursement account. And if there are any questions, I would direct them to the county administrator.
Any other discussion? Patsy?
A question to the county administrator then. How does that leave the ending balance in our 2013 budget, please?
This is the health insurance fund, not the general corporate fund, and the ending balance as of December 31st for this fund was right at $210,000.
Any other discussion? All right, this is a roll call vote with 15 votes needed to pass. Roll call, please.
Schrader? Yes. Schwartz?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Bergson? Cowart? Esri?
Yes.
Harper? Harkey?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Kibler?
Yes.
Langenheim? Maxwell?
Yes.
McGuire? Michaels?
Yes.
Mitchell? Petrie?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
Kurtz?
At this point, due to the fact that I have to recuse myself from this closed session, I'm going to hand the virtual to John for the closed session, and I will need to abstain from any votes when we come out of closed session, and I will explain that when we come out of closed session. John, who's going to read the, what?
Stan has the
Stan, you have the, would you please, closed session, and we'll call a roll call. John?
Mr. James, you have
You got it.
Oh, man. I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C11 to consider litigation due to an action on behalf of Champaign County that is probable or imminent. I further move that the following individuals remain present: county's legal counsel, county administrator, deputy county administrator, recording secretary, and Geraldo Rosales.
Would the clerk call the roll, please?
It is 6:58.
Is there a second? I'm sorry. Is there a second for that? Mr. Langenheim, will the clerk now please call the roll? I'm sorry. Before the vote, before the roll call. Yes, Is that agreeable?
That's agreeable.
Mr. Langenheim? That's agreeable. All right. Now, please call the roll.
Schrader?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Alex? Yes. Bergson? Cowart? Esri?
Yes.
Harper? Harkey? James?
Yes.
Jay? Kibler?
Yes.
Langenheim? Maxwell?
Yes.
McGuire? Michaels? Mitchell? Petrie?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
Rosales? Kurtz? So you can't.
With that, we'll go to the addendum and ask for a motion, or I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number 8762 to approve an intergovernmental agreement between Champaign County in the city of Urbana relating to inspection of certain properties and foreclosure of judgment of lien. Is there,
Second.
very good. Michaels and Mr. Rosales, sorry. Comments? Mr. Fletcher, please. Would you turn the mic, please?
With the items on the addendum, there were revised drafts.
Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, is there any questions or comment? Mr. Alex?
I just wanted to point out with regard to all three of these items, necessary funds will come out of existing funds in the zoning budget.
Good point. Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments at this time? I think we just need a simple majority vote with this. So I'll ask, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Our next item is, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, there's an extension, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you. Next item is adoption of resolution number 8763 to approve a contract for appraisal services. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. James and Ms. Bergson.
Point of order, I believe it's 8765. Is this the change? Oh,
No.
it's a different one? Sorry.
That was on the addendum,
Oh, I thought it was on this one. Okay, thank you, sir.
or consent, I'm sorry, it was on consent. Thank you. Okay. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And finally, adoption of resolution number 8764 to approve a contract for engineering services. Is there a motion? Ms. Michaels, is there a second? Mr. Harper, thank you. Ms. Petrie, comments or questions?
If I might ask this question of Mr. Fletcher, it's just a curiosity question. How was the engineering firm chosen for this part of the series of resolutions?
Joel, just push it and let it go. Oh, well, it's not on yet. Just push it again. There you go. Whoop. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is not subject to any, it's below the dollar thresholds for any statutory selection process, and I would defer to John Hall as to how this particular vendor was selected.
Ms. Petrie? Okay. Mr. Hall, if you would, please.
Well, when Mr. Fletcher first asked our office to get involved in this, this firm came to mind because they are the firm that did the evaluation for the city of Urbana in some recent multifamily building inspections that identified structural problems. And they just seemed to be very qualified. They're a local firm. And they were willing to spend the time to put the proposal together.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, back to the agenda. There any other business for the county board? Any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.